As part of my Final Fantasy replay series, I've been diving back into each game, trying to give them a fresh perspective, and Final Fantasy XII really surprised me. This time through, I found a new appreciation for its more mature, political storytelling. Now, 12 is definitely the most political entry in the series, although 14 comes close at times. But politics aren't just used as a background, they're at the centre of everything, from the story to the characters.
We must avoid a wasting war with the Empire at all cost.
Politics might not be the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about RPGs, and they're not always a good thing. We've got some games pushing out of place and controversial political agendas, but we've also got some brilliant political themes that are deeply woven into good RPG stories. Capitalism, propaganda, discrimination, civil war, coups, class struggles and inequality, corruption, and even religious manipulation.
Praise be to Yevon.
When political themes are used correctly, they can elevate a game's storytelling. Politics don't just have to be a backdrop to the world. They can be a driving force for character development and world building, or even a subtle but meaningful message to the player, a warning of the dangers of things like class struggles and inequality.
Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow?
The Final Fantasy series often delves a little into politics. I'd say that number 14 has had some major political storytelling. It depends on which expansion pack we're talking about though. But even as early as in number 2, we've got political storytelling through the rebellion against the Empire. 4 begins with the Kingdom of Baron abusing its power and explores loyalty and morality. 6 is another strong focus on an imperial empire, waging war and enslaving espers, but by the end it becomes a message about individualism. 7 is heavy on capitalism and class struggles. Wealthy people living above the plates in the futuristic city of Midgar, while the poor suffer in the slums below. In 8, you're literally in a military academy, and early on you're even hired to kidnap a president. In 9, we very much got the Queen of Alexandria manipulated and corrupted into war with other nations, and we get to see the cost of war. 10's interesting. It's more religiously focused. The religion of Yevon is powerful and corrupt. It oppresses and manipulates people against technology and the Elbed race.
Those sandblasted grease monkeys!
In 11, we're at war with beastmen, but a lot of focus is on the politics between major kingdoms and their shaky alliances. But overall, I think Final Fantasy XII does it best. In fact, I believe 12's political narrative is one of its most underrated strengths. It's a slower, more dialogue-heavy plot. Honestly, it's a bit double-edged. We've got lots of politically mature themes, and less of the emotional, dramatic moments like previous Final Fantasy stories.
Even a stray has pride.
While I personally prefer more emotional storytelling, replaying 12, I now have a new appreciation for its more political storytelling. It's easy to understand why some players gave up on 12, but take it from me, it might be worth having a second look at just for that more mature and unique story.
I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same.
Hey, if you're a huge fan of RPGs, consider subbing to Peter Bytes or liking the video for more content like this. Cover lots of RPGs, you might like my Final Fantasy series, where I'm replaying them all and ranking them against each other as I go. Thank you.
Exit stage right.
Set in the world of Evilis, at the heart of the story is the small kingdom of Dalmasca. Problem is, Dalmasca is stuck between the warring larger nations of Arcadia and Rosaria. 12 starts with the Empire of Arcadia assassinating Dalmasca's king and occupying the kingdom. Right from the start, what makes Final Fantasy XII so politically compelling is how real it all feels.
Our king, what have you done?
Sure, there's magic, bunny girls, and all the classic fantasy stuff, but really it's about raw power, militaries, control, occupation, and resistance. You've got all these magical fantasy elements, but the fantasy is just the setting, the politics are the story.
That's what I said.
Hands down, One of the elements that I love the most about Final Fantasy XII is the judges. The heavy metal arbiters of law and power.
A judge's duty is to the law.
These are complete badasses that march around in heavy armor. They work for the Empire, and officially, they enforce the Empire's law. But in reality, they're a bit corrupt. They're used as military commanders and used to do the Empire's dirty work. Even used as a political sword to eliminate political rivals.
If you ask me, they're more executioners than judges.
What's cool is that each Judge Magister has their own ideology, different philosophies. Judge Gabranth is all about vengeance and redemption. Drace wants to uphold justice, the law and honor. Guy is more aggressive and focused on military power and domination. Zargabath is a bit more balanced. He's willing to be pragmatic to bring about order. And Bergen is more of a loyalist to the Empire. He's brutal and power-hungry. Their personalities kind of bleed through into their armor designs, and they project their different philosophies.
I am Judge Magister.
I've got a few favourite scenes in 12, and a lot of them involve the judges. One of my favourites is when things get political, and these different judges start to clash with each other. Things get intense, and each judge projects their different ideologies.
Such time as order...
Spare me your lies! I see the serpent coiled here before me!
Drace, you speak too freely.
Zargabath! Do not tell me you join in his mama's farce!
I wish we got to see more of the judges in Final Fantasy XII. I think they're some of the coolest, but maybe the most underused characters. Then again, maybe the judges are so awesome because they're not overused.
End at my blade!
When it comes to our main party of heroes, Ashe is very much the political heart and centre of the story. She's a princess in hiding, fighting to reclaim her kingdom of Dalmasca, which has been conquered and now occupied by the Arcadian Empire.
Who would be next?
Eventually she's faced with a choice when she gains access to great power. Ashe has to decide if she's going to take the path of vengeance against the Empire or go a more diplomatic route and seek peace. This is her story. But it becomes more compelling because everyone around her is trying to use and manipulate her.
Just how far will you go for power?
Meanwhile, there's our antagonist.
Why don't you call me Vayne?
I don't think he's the best villain or final boss in the series. In fact, Vayne can't be that popular. In the Dissidia fighting games, each Final Fantasy gets a hero and a villain. And for 12, Vayne was replaced by Judge Gabranth.
I'll be the judge of your sins.
But I've got to admit, Vayne does make for a strong political character. He has strong political ambition, he strives for humanity's freedom from the gods, his ideals sound good and noble, but the problem is, he's willing to commit atrocities to achieve humanity's freedom. He acts kind and gives public speeches to the people, while behind closed doors he's ruthless, even assassinating his own father to seize power. It's not even obvious that he's the main antagonist until deep into the story, and even then he's no Sephiroth or Kefka. Or a cosmic monster. He's a political tactician. In a sense, you could consider Vayne even more dangerous than some of the flashier villains in the series. Because you don't see him coming, you don't realise he is the antagonist. And here's something I love about Final Fantasy XII. It is clearly inspired or influenced by Star Wars, and thing is, Star Wars is also quite a bit of a political story at its core. Empires, rebellions, moral conflicts, it lines up with Final Fantasy XII. One of my favourite characters, Judge Gabranth, is basically Evilus's version of Darth Vader. They're not just badasses in iconic armour, they're tragic figures, both torn between loyalty to the Empire and their own guilt. And just like Vader, Gabranth turns on his master in the end. A final act of redemption.
Even a stray has pride.
Whether it's an Imperial Empire, the capitalist hellscape of Midgar, or the religious dogma of Yevon, politics in RPGs shape more than just the world. They shape the story and characters in it. Final Fantasy XII dared to be different and go for a more political and mature form of storytelling. It's a bit more complicated than good or evil, it blurs the lines, and it stands tall for that. Alright, have a good one.